Hi there and welcome to Community Matters. I'm your host, Shannon Ferguson. Now last week saw kids rejoicing everywhere with 3 snow days, but how does the decision to cancel buses come about? Joining me now is Janet Murray and Gord Kirk from Steo. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Shannon.
So you guys are basically the ones who dictate snow days and bus cancellations. Tell me a little bit about the process, about how that happened.
Of course, and as you said, Shannon, the timing is impeccable for us to be here. So we at Steo do work in tandem with the school boards that we service, so the Upper Canada District School Board as well as the Catholic District School Board of Eastern Ontario, to determine when the buses are going to run and when they're not. And we empathize with the fact that some days look more like traditional snow days than others, but we appreciate the opportunity to be here to sort of unpack and demystify the process involved in canceling or running buses on an inclement weather day. So really, the process begins for us in November and lasts right through until March. And in that period of time, we begin to receive weather forecasts on a multiple times a day basis from a group of weather consultants that we work with called Meteo Group. We watch those closely, and if we receive something that's questionable, what we do is we reach out to Meteo Group and we consult on a more fulsome basis to determine what may be forthcoming. If we find out that something is going to be troubling or even questionable in terms of weather for the following school day, we reach out to our bus companies, and we have 18 weather captains at those bus companies who help us to make those decisions as well on those inclement weather days. The morning of an inclement weather day is a hectic day. So we start at about 3:30 a.m. or 4 o'clock in the morning, and we begin to reach out to our weather captains. And those weather captains who represent the bus companies are also informed by their staff who are on the roads and driving the roads and telling us what it actually looks like out there. That information, coupled with the information from Meteo Group as well as Environment Canada, allows us to give some information to the school boards, and as a group we discuss the information gathered and ultimately make a decision as to whether to run the buses or to cancel them.
It's such an interesting process, and I feel like a lot of people might not realize how much work really goes into it. So how does safety play a big part? Obviously that's the main concern, and why is it so important to keep those buses off the road?
Absolutely, and you know, we do service a large area. Gord, sometimes it shocks us when we talk about the fact that it's 12,000 square kilometers, right, that we service in the course of a day. So when you think about that, that's 33,000 students for whom we're making a decision when it comes to inclement weather, which is significant. And we do realize that for some families, they're going to be harder hit by road conditions and weather than others when we're dealing with a service area that large. So safety is always the number one consideration when it comes to running or canceling. And as I mentioned, what might look like a traditional snow day is often a day when it's actually conducive for buses to run. Buses can manage in snow, and drivers are trained to manage those conditions, but sometimes what's more treacherous are freezing rain conditions, flash freeze conditions, which we experienced last week, which on the face of them look like fairly nice weather, balmy days in comparison to a very heavy snow day, but which in fact may be more treacherous when you consider that the way a bus route is designed is that it starts in a more rural outlying area and moving into an urban setting. So it's often those rural roads and unmaintained roads and unpaved surfaces which are more treacherous at the end of the day.
And like you were saying, some days they don't look like traditional snow days. So there's people on both sides of the coin saying, why are the buses canceled? Back in my day, they weren't. So how do you deal with that influx of people discussing or maybe complaining about it?
You know, we get it, right, Gord? Like we
Yes, we
empathize, certainly, which goes a long way, right? And many of us have our own little people who are riding on those school buses, and we get it. We get when a school bus is canceled that it means that your day has changed. You have to go to your contingency plan. You have to figure out if you're comfortable to get your kids to school, how you're going to do it, and if not, what is that day going to look like? So we do empathize, which I think goes a long way. But we also understand that we love the days that look like traditional snow days because we know we can cancel and it's not controversial because it looks like a snow globe outside. But we do understand that we have to be mindful of the fact that we've got rural roads that we're dealing with, that we've got flash freeze and freezing rain conditions that may be more treacherous to a bus at the end of the day.
And I think a lot of the controversy stems from social media, which obviously has changed since the past, and that the way you communicate with people has also changed, I believe.
Oh, it is. It has. We have a website for people to access to look for bus cancellations. And our website actually feeds a Twitter account. It'll also feed a Facebook account. And we have developed a new app that people can subscribe to find out the bus information as we go.
That's really amazing. It's so convenient and so easy for families to find out this important information. And how do you find that's really helped evolve and helped people manage their days better?
Oh, great question, right? Because it is about managing your day and getting that information as early as possible. And we like to work with the boards to get that decision made as early as we can, recognizing that some decisions are clearer than others. Last week, for example, we were making some decisions about weather that was forecast for the end of the day. That's a more difficult decision to make because you're almost making the decision on the forecast alone versus the road conditions, right? Having said that, we want to make sure that that information is posted by 6:15 at the very latest, and typically it's earlier than that time. We use all of the resources that Gord had referenced, but we also recognize that the earlier we can get that information shared, whether it's via an app or whether it's via social media, people can begin to go to their contingency planning if they absolutely need to. And social media is a great resource for generating some conversations about this process, and that's okay. And we know that people sometimes have frustrations because of the large service area that we provide service to, and that's okay. It's okay to be able to vent and sort of work through some of that, and people are really great for mediating each other through those forums as well, and sort of sharing their ideas and their contingency plans should the buses have to be canceled for safety reasons.
That's really great. It's nice to see that the world is evolving and it's helping you with your cancellation. So if anyone wants to find out information, your website or your social media accounts, where can they go for that?
Probably your best spot to visit is the website at steo.ca, and that's going to link you to any of the other social media accounts. There's also information up there about the app that you can download for free in order to get this information. You get the information, of course, on the days when buses are canceled, but recognizing that we are in the season where delays may occur due to, this morning, for example, we saw a number of delays posted due to no starts because it's so cold outside. You can actually personalize the app for your children's school information so that you only receive delays specific to their particular school.
That's perfect. Well, thank you for all the hard work you do behind the scenes that many people don't know of, and thank you for being here today, and stay safe on those roads.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.